Y'all, let me fix my hair real quick. Y'all, we did it. We fucking did it against the Kansas City Chiefs. We were able to knock off the class of the AFC, a team that has gone to the Super Bowl or the AFC Championship in the past 7 years or whatever. And you know what? It just doesn't get any sweeter than this. It really doesn't. I am just so happy. So happy. And y'all should be too. I'm going to be fixing some things real quick. Just going to edit some things with my stream. And I am streaming later than I normally stream. So I hope I will see a handful of you join in here. But yeah, man, feeling pretty good right now. I don't know what else to say other than it's, I don't know, man. I don't know what else to say other than I didn't think they could do it. And I'm really happy. I'm really happy with the way things have turned out. Yeah, hold on 1 sec. Gonna send this to my boy Stucker. Alex Stucker. Here we go. All right. Here we go. All right. Either way, there's already somebody in here, so let me know. Yo, it's Son of Judah. Let's freaking go. I'm happy to see you back here. Thank you for being patient with me as I am going live later than usual tonight. But yeah, overall great win. It was exhilarating. It was truly exhilarating. It took all 53 guys. It took all 53 guys to get the job done, but man, oh man. Boy, was that sweet. Boy, was that so sweet. And yeah, overall, I'm stoked. I'm really stoked. Because that was so sick, man. I can't put it into words. I'm still on a high. It's been 7 hours since we actually won the game. 6 hours since we actually won the game. And I can't stop thinking about it. I haven't stopped thinking about it since it happened. And we have a lot to talk about, but overall, the thing is, I couldn't be more proud of this team. I truly couldn't. If there's anything you guys in particular want to discuss, then let me know. But overall, I don't think there's much to be said other than, we did an amazing job. We were up for the challenge today, and yeah, overall, we were up for this, thing we had going on here with, going against the Kansas City Chiefs, the team that's, been a thorn in the side of our team for however long now. And once again, we were competitive. So we were very competitive. We did an amazing job at, limiting Patrick Mahomes. We did an amazing job just being, how do I put this? Just being amazing today on the offensive side of the ball. But yeah, what thumbnail should I give this? All right. Oh shit! Chiefs Kingdom is imploding. Special teams did lock in today. Wait. Am I gonna need to share this in front of everybody? And also, what's up, David? Isn't it 1:30 where you are in Texas? So yeah, I'm happy to see you in here too. Special teams did lock in today. One of the things that had been insane today was, what's it called? The special teams has made noise all year long, but it was good. It was good. What the fuck? So, hold on. I'm going to share this, actually. Because that is actually crazy. So, I got this photo from David, who just sent it to me on iMessage. Thank you, David. Yeah, this is crazy. This is crazy. I agree that Andy Reid probably has not been in his bag this year. had he been the Andy Reid of old, maybe they hang on against Jacksonville. Maybe they hang on against the Chargers. Maybe they hang on against the Eagles. Maybe they don't just blow it against us today. But people, like, they talk about the play calling and he won't run the ball, and that's fine. But most talented offense in the Mahomes era is pretty crazy. Like, that is just not true whatsoever. All season, it's been Kareem Hunt and Pacheco being basically nothing. All season, it's, this team really, really fucking sucks at acquiring wide receiver talent. Like, I'm not even going to lie. Like, the Chiefs are genuinely horrible at acquiring wide receivers. And, I mean, I guess that it's been better lately, especially with Rasheed and Tyquan Thornton, and who fucking should have been flagged for OPI. But who else? Juju. Like, yeah, Juju is a huge part of their offense. Like, that's a huge indictment on that team. And, yeah, that's crazy. Like, most talented offense they have in the Mahomes era, when you had Kelsey and Tyreek Hill firing on all cylinders at one point, is insane. That's just stupid. Like, that's not even true. Exactly. Like, he had prime Kelsey and Tyreek Hill and was throwing for 5K and 50 TDs. Like, Mahomes, I think it's pretty crazy when people put him in GOAT discussions because he has not been that guy anymore. Like, he missed those opportunities that, frankly, were there on the first plays of the game. And overall, Mahomes has changed his game, and I don't think it's been for the better. Like, he has regressed over the past 3 years, and, stats will say it, just play will say it. And, yeah, nowhere near the most talented offense. Yeah, for real. Like, that is nowhere near the most talented offense we've had, or they've had in the Mahomes era. Like, maybe, I mean, the O-line, I think you can make an argument. It's pretty solid, but was no match for us today. You have to watch everything Nick Wright was saying before this game. I'm sure it was fantastic. Respectfully, I don't watch national media, but I can imagine it was awesome. It was awesome. And I can't wait for everybody to rub it in his face tomorrow. It seems like we already did on Twitter, when Schlereth was like, hey, do you genuinely think they can hold off the Raiders from last place in the AFC West? That was funny as shit. Chiefs have lost a lot of talent. I don't know why Chiefs fans can't accept that. Yeah, and that's what happens when you have to sign your quarterback to a monster mega deal. And you, honestly, they have not done a very good job at developing their talent. Like, on the defensive side of the ball, I think it's been a different story, but still too many wasted picks there. Felix Enuizike Uoma, I don't know how to say that guy's name. First round defensive tackle in 2023, did a terrible job developing him. Like, he's been a non-factor for them. Who else? Like, their cornerback 2 problem, they have not found a legit solution ever since Snead left, because Snead and McDuffie was a nasty tandem. But yeah, they really don't. And honestly, they don't really do well in free agency either. Like, I'm trying to think about who they've signed that's been good. I know they signed Jawan Taylor to that huge deal. I know that they've signed like contributors like Tranquil. I know that they've signed a handful of guys, but yeah, no, they're not. They haven't really done that good in free agency either. Like, maybe they brought in Juju, which helped them win like 2 or 3 years ago, but he's really not that good of a football player. So I'm like, what do they do well? Like, maybe late round gems, like Ariza, maybe Pacheco was good for their offense for a little bit, but yeah. He's become a lot more of a game manager instead of a game changer. This is correct. And it's crazy to me because if you look at the best quarterbacks the past 2 or 3 years, Mahomes is nowhere near that discussion. And I think people are talking about him like being top 5, top 10 all time. That's absolutely ludicrous. Now, had he kept pace from his early success, then I wouldn't be able to disagree. But quite frankly, he just has not been the same quarterback. And I think that's obvious to everyone. Chiefs generally don't draft well or I already addressed that, but yeah. Mahomes' record versus the Broncos, they've been a reputable team since Mahomes was QB1. You know what? That's crazy to me because I feel like that requires context. And I was saying this whole week that usually our defense will always come to play against the Chiefs and Mahomes. Like, that's not the question. But usually it's our offense that lets us down and our special teams that lets us down. And they came big. They came up big today. Yeah. Flexing wins against Drew Lock, Teddy Bridgewater, and Case Keenum. Yeah. I wonder what Reed is thinking about right now, because I wonder if Reed is on borrowed time. And honestly, I don't know who the head coach would be. I know that Clark Hunt is probably more responsible than Lamar Hunt just as an owner. I think that they would probably Chiefs, like if Andy Reid were to retire, then the Chiefs would be an amazing job for anybody. Like anybody would want that head coaching job, but they're not going to get better by firing Reid. Like I know that a lot of Chiefs fans have been out there saying that. I can't believe they brought back Nick Bolton over Justin Reid. How has Justin Reid been for the Saints? But Nick Bolton was not one of my guys in free agency. I thought he was massively overrated. I thought Greenlaw was so much better in every capacity. And yeah, well, you could say whatever you want about Greenlaw. All those frustrating weeks were worth it. All those frustrating wins were worth it. Flexing wins against Drew Lock, Teddy Bridgewater, and Case Keenum. Yeah, and the saddest thing is we still should have beat them with Case Keenum. Not once, but twice. Actually, no. The second game in Arrowhead, we shouldn't have beat them. But Monday Night Football, Case Keenum missed DT. Like, we should have won. We should have flat out won that game. But yeah, it was always disheartening because, we had that game with Drew Lock at the end of 2021 as well, where you have a chance to go up 7 or 8. You're in the red zone, and then I think it's either Fant or Okaway-Banam who misses the block. I can't remember. But they get Melvin Gordon just absolutely lit up in the backfield, and he fumbles it, and Nick Bolton runs it back like 90 yards or whatever. It may have been Willie Gay. But, yeah, that was bad. And ultimately, yeah, you're right. Like they were just flexing wins over our dog shit quarterbacks. But Russell Wilson career arc from Mahomes once he loses a bit more speed. Yeah, that'd be something. That'd be something. And I don't know. Hopefully it starts sooner than Russ's decline did when he was like, 33, 34? Yes. But I don't know. Yeah, Mahomes does have like that improvisation gift. Like he truly is gifted. He's one of the most crazy guys we've ever seen. That being said, like I wonder how long that keeps up because he's a guy that has had a lot of lower body injuries. And I don't know. It's just interesting. Like, I don't know. I don't know how to feel about that. Yeah, that's how I'm feeling about that. Drew Lock was his worst against KC. Drew Lock was awful against KC. He had one good game, I remember, and that was the end of the 2021 season, like I mentioned, where he had like 2 really, really long rushing touchdowns. What do I have on my lip here? What do I have on my lip? Yeah, no, Knicks has led 2 game-winning drives against the Chiefs in back-to-back years. And this time the special teams did not completely blow it. And this time the special teams did not cost you the win. And that was fantastic. Like that was so, I just can't wrap my head around that. I remember I was watching it. I was sitting on the couch and my dad was sitting in his chair. And yeah, I don't know. I was like sitting in the exact same spot where I was when Casey blocked our kick last year. And I was like, I can't do that again. I was like, I got to move around. I got to move somewhere. So I watched it from behind the couch and I jumped probably 50 feet in the air when the ball went through the uprights. Yeah, I'm not going to lie. Harvey did not do very well today, or at least what I was hoping for. Please explain why he does that much better than Jalil. Well, first of all, Jalil can't catch. And catching is a huge part of the Sean Payton offense from the running back position. I think Javonte had the second most catches on the team last year, and that should tell you everything you need to know. Like Javonte was not earning targets last year. He just happened to be there, and he happened to be a guy where if you threw the ball to him, he wasn't going to drop it. But yeah, no, that's basically the idea. And honestly, Harvey did start to get some run and did start to pick up some decent plays in the fourth quarter, but it was not the run game was not very good today. And unfortunately, I think part of my complaints with the offense last year were no run game. I think you saw some of that today. Yeah, did RJ get back-to-back carries on consecutive plays today? I don't think so. Harvey might have an average yards per carry, but his success rate is awful. Yeah, he seems too boomer bust as a runner right now. RJ Harvey seems way too boomer bust, just running the football right now. And I don't know how you fix that because he's a 24-year-old rookie. But overall, I think, it might be annoying because, this staff does unfortunately keep a leash on players. But yeah, I was impressed with Jalil today. Chris Henry. Yeah, he made a great catch on a bowl today. Yeah, and RJ was crucial in those final 2 drives that we had to go down the field. and do that. I think this game in that final drive does show how much we improved from last year. Last year we do not win. Here's what I will say. I will say last year we should have won. Last year we should have beat KC. But yeah, I think in the sense that last year, Kansas City doesn't have the devil magic on the side this year, and I can guarantee that they spent a lot of time looking over field goal protection in practice this week. But I don't know. I think, we probably don't win this particular game last year. I would agree with you there, but we played well enough to win last year in Arrowhead. But yeah, I get what you're saying, Judah. I want the ball handed off to RJ Moore as well. Yeah, I do too. I get why they went away from the run game, especially because Nix was cooking. He wasn't cooking. Like, there was a period of the game after the first drive where he was like relatively down. Then he woke up again in the third quarter. I wasn't very impressed with the run blocking, and overall, I don't know if that was just a strong defensive scheme in Spagnuolo. Chris Jones was making crazy plays. Karlaftis was doing really well. So I think it's just a bit of both there. I think, all the guys were making plays. This is a big one, Chris Henry. Bo looked way more composed in the pocket this game. Yes, he did. And there were still a few times where, he would see a defender and he would just bail out. There were a handful of times where he, threw it away when he, probably could have made a play. But I saw a completely different quarterback today. I saw a guy that was stepping up at the pocket. I saw a guy that was, making plays. I saw a guy that was trusting his reads. 3rd and 15. I think people forget that we had a 3rd and 15 on the final drive because of Palczewski holding, and we picked it up. And that's the second time this year that the Chiefs defense has completely collapsed on a 3rd and 15. So yeah, I'm so happy. Like, I could tell he heard the noise in the bye week or in the, in the mini bye week, and he answered the bell. Like, that's all I could say about the quarterback. He played so much better this game. I know not a lot of people are going to, agree with the amount of improvement that he showed this game, but I thought it was night and day from the quarterback we saw 10 days ago. And he does play his best ball against the Chiefs, which is awesome. Chris Jones crushed it. Chris Jones did have a really good game. Thank you, Mark. I appreciate y'all giving me some love in the chat. I appreciate y'all shouting me out and being like, be sure to like and subscribe, people. Yes. Of course, like, comment, and subscribe because you guys are the ones that make this show go. I'm really enjoyed doing these because I have a lot of free time, and ever since Andrew May stopped doing Denver Football After Dark, somebody else needed to take over. And what better way to take over than a big win? And also, look, I'm rocking the quarter zip. Yeah, and this stuck out to me. Bo was very good on 3rd down, and we still had a decent amount of yards to go. Yeah, we were – at a certain point, we were like 2nd and 6 or 2 of 6, 2 of 7 on 3rd down. But I wonder what we ended because I feel like Bo Nix really, really came alive on 3rd down in this game. I'm going to see what we ended on 3rd down. We ended – apologies. I usually don't check box scores, so I don't know where to find this. Okay. We finished 7 of 15 on 3rd down. All right. So yeah, of course. Yeah. Nothing like the Kodiak Deep Voice late night. Of course. Denver Broncos tonight, November 17th on this Monday morning at 12:27 a.m. coming off a big win against the Kansas City Chiefs. Yeah. 7 of 15 on 3rd down. That shows that we really turned it up on 3rd down in the second half in particular, because I think that's 5 of 8 after the way we started. So that's like firing at 62% on 3rd down afterwards. But yeah, that's awesome. I got to get your thoughts on the refs. Biased, but it didn't matter. Completely biased. I thought the Riley Moss DPI was absolute horseshit, or the illegal contact that wiped out the pick 6 was absolute horseshit. I thought the Tyquan Thornton, I was amazed that wasn't called for OPI when, they were letting Kansas City be very handsy. They were letting them be very physical, yet they were calling the slightest things on our dudes. So yeah. Overall, once again, I felt like the officiating was very biased, and Kansas City did get flagged. So I'm not going to say it was completely one-sided, but Kansas City did have the whistle in their favor. We did have that holding penalty on Palczewski where I'm just like, really? Like, that's what you're calling a holding penalty, but it didn't matter at the end of the day. I was like, yep, like clockwork. And I thought it was so funny that Mahomes was asking for a flag on the J-Max sack and he didn't get one, which, by the way, Jaquan McMillan is going to be your defensive player of the week because he got 2 sacks and a pick. The refs were to be expected. It was always going to be an uphill battle. Yes, 1,000%. It was always going to be an uphill battle. And, it's the Sean Payton tax. It just is what it is at this point, and we're going to have to live with it as long as Sean Payton's our coach. Now, what's crazy is that we're still getting penalized way more than we did last year. Like last year, we didn't have any games of double-digit penalties. This year, we have 5, so I don't know what happened. Maybe the league office was just like, screw this guy. Will Lutz. Big nuts Lutz. Throughout the offseason, I was like, Will Lutz is replacement level, but not that way anymore. Will Lutz's confidence is really, really showing up. Yeah, this was horseshit. I thought the spot was bad. I thought the spot for the Sutton third down was also really bad. But once again, ended up being inconsequential. I couldn't believe that either. Also, but it did set up a badass call by Vance Joseph to do the corner blitz on the Chiefs Hail Mary attempt, and they never saw it coming, so that was sick. But yeah, I thought Lutz was entirely pedestrian last year. I was like, listen, this guy really has not made the big kicks. And then after the Colts game, I was like, maybe it's time to move on, but he's done nothing except, drill big kicks for us this year. So yeah, just ride him until the wheels fall off. Like, I think he's 32, 33 years old. So just ride until the wheels fall off there. Yes, refs were calling 2 different games, David. Frank Crum. Yeah, big shout out to Frank Crum. And honestly, I don't know why we didn't do more of that. Like, I remember thinking about that at some point last year. I can't remember when it was, but I was like, man, I feel like we are really lacking aggression and blocking field goals. And I feel like we are really just missing dudes down there. Like, just stick up your hand or whatever. And look what happens when you stick up your hand. And that was big. Like, honestly, I felt like Hufugger could have run that back if he was a little more aware of what was going on. Yeah, it was rough. It was really rough for Riley Moss today, and it was not good. And honestly, pretty much all the Chiefs' offensive success can be tied to, him getting flagged for penalties or whatever. And yeah, it's like, I get it. He's not being officiated fairly, but the one on Worthy in the first quarter, I did think it was a penalty. The one on Hollywood Brown was just so fucking stupid. Like, I don't know why you felt the need to grab him in that situation, but yeah. I don't think the solution is take Riley Moss off the field on third downs because, Chris Abrams drain is a fun idea, but you haven't seen his limitations play out. Like, he's 5'10", 181, and he's just not big enough to go up on against these outside dudes. So yeah. What's good? Goat TW4313. That was awesome. Oh no. I did that because what's it called? I'm redoing my wall because I want to do like a projector over there. But hold on. No, it is not. I still got faith in my cracker back. Yeah, Chris Abrams' drain was a monster today. Like, we did not skip a beat without Surtain. Or actually, I'm not going to say we didn't skip a beat without Surtain, but the secondary answered the bell without Surtain. Yeah, it's just crazy. Like, it's out of control. And I think what it can just boil down to is A, he's naturally a physical corner, and B, I think he does use nicotine. And I feel like people that use nicotine, I've noticed, tend to be like a little more frantic and jittery throughout their lives. I think he does pack lips because if you watched him on Sternod's podcast a year ago, I think after week 2 of 2024, when we played Pittsburgh, I think Riley Moss was packing lips like left and right. So I think he's a nicotine user. He also really likes coffee. He says that his pregame ritual is a cup of coffee. So I think you cut all those things out, I think things could be better. Frank Crum and Caleb Lohner should be on every field goal block. Yeah, I agree. Like, the only problem is I'm going to say it. Like, I don't think our 52nd, 53rd guys are that important to our roster. Did Rizzy fix special teams? He may have. And honestly, like, I figured he would at some point, even if I didn't expect it until next year. We may have, but Marvin Mims, y'all, Marvin Mims is very important to this team. Not even to the offense in particular, but just to the special teams. Rice was a non-factor. Shout out to the defense. He was a non-factor. And I mean, he's still got a couple like first, second out catches or like gains of like 11, like just chunk plays. But yeah, he never really hurt us on money downs. Yeah, I don't know. I guess we had to put him in jail since the Dallas Police Department was not willing to. But yeah, Chris Abrams-Drain was a baller today. Should have gotten a Jade pick six, man. Yeah, that call was bad. Like, I don't know why they. I genuinely don't know what they saw there. And also, when that happened, I got flashbacks to the Brandon Jones illegal contact last year. That was completely phantom. Did not exist. And that was the only Chiefs touchdown drive of the game last year when we played them. There's too many occasions and third and long that they get bailout on DPIs. I love Moss, but surely KD could just hold off at least on third and long. Yeah, I get what you're saying. And I don't know what the solution is. I don't know what Jim Leonard is going to coach him to do differently in those situations. I don't know. That's certainly going to be a point of emphasis because had you lost this game, it would have gone back to that because you gave up probably 10 points on just Riley Moss giving up DPIs. And also, you lost points, even if it was a terrible call, but you did lose points on a Riley Moss penalty, which, we can say whatever we want about the call, but it doesn't change the fact that it happened. Problem is, he doesn't pack enough lips. Huh, interesting. Maybe you can help him out with that. Maybe if he comes into your vape store, you can say something about that. How about the game for Q Robinson today? Okay. Oh, yeah. Also, the push off on McMillan when Tyquan Thornton beat him deep. I actually don't think that was really a ridiculous non-call. But when you're allowing the Chiefs secondary to be like physical and handsy and whatever, and you're calling the slightest things on our guys, then be fucking for real. But yeah, how about the game for Q Robinson today? You know what's crazy is I finally see the merits of this pick. All right. Now, throughout this offseason, I was like, man, we're really going 5 deep at edge. And now that Ellis was out, you didn't really feel that impact. And Robinson, guys, I don't think you guys remember this, but remember the 3rd and 1 where Q Robinson got the sack? That was huge. That was enormous. He panics. Yeah, he does. Riley Moss does panic. Riley Moss Rashee Rice had as many catches as he does DUIs, which is good, I guess. Yeah. I remember on the last drive of the game, John Franklin Myers got absolutely neck held by JFM too. And yeah, or JFM was getting neck held by I forget who, and they just didn't call it for whatever reason. And I'm just like, all right. But yeah, no, they had the Chiefs offensive line. It's a good offensive line, but they were not up for the task against our pass rush today. And they did get called for 2 holding penalties, and that's unfortunately on the drive where the Moss thing happened. But yeah. Yeah, like when your owner's worth $18 trillion, just pay him like a head coach and keep him here. Now, what I will say, like the NFL, we've seen time and time again, guys care about their legacies. Like guys care about their legacies. They care about competing at the highest level. And if Vance Joseph, the highest level he can get is a head coaching position, I can't imagine he's going to take it away. So I guess you just have to ask Jim Leonard to step up and be your defensive coordinator, and we'll see. But either way, I would love for the staff to stick together. Exactly. Yeah, I agree. That and a lifetime Walmart discount or something. Yeah, dude. Like for all these free agents that we have upcoming, like JFM, I want us to re-sign JFM bad. Give him like a Walmart gift card or something like that. We still got Savion Jones in the vault waiting to be unleashed. I agree. But the problem is the Broncos are deep at D-line right now. I think this is more of a redshirt year for Savion. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, had we been deep or had we not been deep and had we been relying on Savion and he kept being deactivated, I would say, yeah, there's a problem there. But like Dulcich, remember our tight end room sucked last year and Dulcich couldn't get on the field. I would be like, all right, there's a problem there. But yeah, Wazirike has been balling this year. Like, unfortunately, I just don't think there's room to re-sign both him and Roach. I think I go Roach if I'm going to re-sign one of those guys, even though Wazirike is younger. But yeah, the D-line has been, the way they've built this D-line has been masterful. it's crazy to me that you would not look at this defense and think that we're missing 3 years of first and second round picks and, not having the capital to, pay a bunch of dudes because of the fact that you traded for Russell Wilson. You would never look at this defense and know that. I love Uwazurike the big body to stuff the run. I agree. That being said, I think there's another team that's going to pay him a lot of money to do that. So, hopefully we can replace that in the draft or something like that. But yeah, Uwazurike's development has been awesome. I'm glad he's turned into, the vision. I'm glad the vision came to fruition after, everything that happened with him. So well done. Well done, Uwazurike. Vance will be a head coach next season, no doubt. I think, if the season ended today, then Vance Joseph has definitely got to be at the top of those lists for head coaching positions. Like, I don't think he really makes sense for the Giants, but the Bengals, if they move on from Marvin Lewis because their defense, or Zach Taylor, I should say, because their defense has always been horrific, that'd be a good hire. And with Burrow and Chase, you don't really need an offensive mind. But yeah, overall, keep Roach and get a run stuffer in the draft. I think that's true. I think you're right. We get one more year of Uwazurike. I forgot. Oh, that's kind of cool. So, trying to think. First, okay. So this is his third year. This would be his third year then, right? And then the fourth year would be next year. All right. Okay. That's cool. Yeah. Okay, I thought Uwazurike was going to be a free agent, but I guess not. So, like, what's up with Drew Sanders? Drew Sanders doesn't exist, unfortunately. Everything you've heard about Drew Sanders is completely wrong. Everything you've heard about, when he might come back is also just completely wrong, because he doesn't exist as far as I'm concerned. Until I actually see him out there on the field, he does not exist. Same with A.T. Perry, which sucks because we did use a premium pick on him during a time where we had very limited capital, but that's literally the only defensive acquisition that we've made that I think hasn't worked out. And I think it's like a Dulcich thing where it's just like, all right, whatever. It's just not going to happen here. So he's clearly a talented player. So just let him go elsewhere and figure it out and hope he can be successful. He's not even a real person, if we're being honest. Yeah, I think you're right. Has anybody seen Drew Sanders? I remember he was wasn't he a 5-star recruit going into Alabama? Wasn't he the number one receiver in the country or linebacker in the country? Then he went to Alabama and didn't get playing time, so he transferred to Arkansas. I don't know. That's crazy. A.T. Perry catches those long balls Troy can't haul in, I promise. I guess. Wait, guys. I think I'm going to foam head this. All right. After a big one like that, I got to foam head this. Dude, I need a haircut so fucking bad. Can't haul in. Yes, you are correct. But, A.T. Perry or I should say Bo Nix and Troy Franklin, the connection has been very frustrating this year. Shout out to them for making it work in the second half, though. We don't win that game without Troy Franklin hauling in that 30, 40-yard pass. I forget what it was. And then with him sealing the deal for the game. Let's Bo. Agreed. Yes, Dom Mars. Let's go. Great to see you again in here because I think you've been in most of the late night live shows I've done. If my name was David, I'd cry. What are y'all on right now? So you got Dom and David right now just beefing about D names. Why do my ears hurt so bad? My upper ear hurts. All right, there we go. That final pass was so good. Yeah. Hey man, I'm gonna head to bed. Almost 3 a.m. in Philadelphia, I believe. Glad I caught you on here, Chris. But yeah. Hopefully the Eagles fans are kind to you, even though I know they're not. That final pass was a thing of beauty. Literally draped over the thing. Draped over the defender. And yeah. Trade and Cruz, we back, baby. We are back. I think Troy has been fantastic. Let's not forget just how bad it was at times last year. I guess I would say the improvement's been fantastic, and I think we did get a good glimpse of Troy like in the preseason, in the first month of the year. I was like, all right, this guy's breakout is for real, and man, I don't know. He's just had like a couple really really crucial drops in the past 3 weeks, and not to say I'm not fine with giving receivers time to develop, especially in our offense where you know whatever. But Troy Franklin was a 4th round pick for a reason. And I think a lot of the people that are disappointed with him just really, really expect bigger things from him. But ultimately, he was a 4th round pick and he's still 22 years old, still trying to find his way through the NFL. But Troy Franklin legitimately might have the worst hand-eye coordination I've ever seen from an athlete. Like, no joke. Yeah. Gonna try and make a second game this year. Now, I will say it's been not all bad for Franklin. Like, I know I just spent like 30 seconds just shitting on him, but it's just been wishy-washy, and I just hope we can get more consistent play out of him going forward. Because we see what he can do when he gets the opportunity and when he is firing, but when he tends to be very boomer bust and wishy-washy. So yeah. Gonna try to make a second game this year. Were you at the game today? If so, that is awesome. I wish I was at the game today. Beefing about A.T. Perry? Dude, I don't know why y'all are beefing. I'm more of a seafood guy myself. Pat Bryant really could find himself moving into that wide receiver 2 spot. Yeah. Pat Bryant has been awesome. Like, there's just no doubt about it. And then you listen to Mark brought this up on Horsepower Hour. Like, you hear Pat Bryant talk about football. You hear about whatever, you hear about how he approaches things, his blocking attitude. You knew that Sean Payton was going to love him. So, yeah. Good night. Good night. How about those Chargers? Yeah. How about Jacksonville? Honestly, I was telling people that I went to a pool place. Like, I was playing pool tonight with one of my friends for his birthday. And I was telling him, and I had just thought about this, I genuinely think week 18 could be for the division crown. Now, hopefully we have it wrapped up by then, but the good chance that we're playing the Chargers for the division crown that night. But they don't scare me without Alton Slater. They really don't, especially because we already lost them earlier in this year. And, they're going to have a chip on their shoulder because, honestly, that's a game we should have put away. We had a lot of chances to put away on offense, and our defense kept in it and faltered at the very last second. So, yeah. Oh, I got a super chat. Let's go. First super chat of the night. Thank you very much. Always a pleasure when you guys give me your hard-earned cash. I feel like I'm spoiled rotten because I've gotten a decent amount of super chats in the past 2 or 3 nights, but yeah. Can't wait for Pat to return next game. Yeah, the fact that our defense looked like this against one of the best offenses in the league in the Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, listen, the Chiefs' offense isn't explosive anymore, but they're boring and efficient. So the fact that we looked like how we did today against them without Surtain, it's wheels up. Like, I genuinely think we're going 4-0 over our next 5 games. Like, the only game that I think we're going to lose, we might lose, is at Kansas City on Christmas night. And honestly, that could just be because of the fact that we're starting Stidham, if all goes well. Once we get, and by the way, I'm not saying start Stidham because we're benching Bo, but because we have things wrapped up, to clarify. All right, once we get Jalen Waddle, this offense will be explosive. Yes. Like, I don't know what the Dolphins wanted for Waddle, but I think I'd feel pretty comfortable making that move. Like, I don't know. You have to navigate it, and opportunity cost is the name of the game in the NFL, building rosters or whatever, but Waddle would have been so fucking sick for this team. I'd rather have CD. CD is definitely not going to be available. I wish. And also, we're not in a position to pay him $40 million a year. He will be soon. I think you're talking about Pat Bryant. Yeah, I agree. Give me CD over everyone. Yeah. I mean, yeah, but once again, I don't think he's going to be available. Came out of college with better hands than Troy ever did. I think he's talking about Pat Bryant. Yeah, Troy Franklin did not have very good hands coming out of Oregon. I still think the best hands on the team go to Marvin, but Marvin is not a refined route runner, and I honestly don't think he'll ever be. And there's nothing wrong with that because he's clearly very, very valuable to this team. But yeah, PS2 against the Commanders wide receivers, especially without Terry, is going to be overkill. I mean, yeah, Terry McLaurin's just been injuring his quad left and right this year, so we'll see. And honestly, the Chiefs might have what's his name? The Chiefs might have or the Commanders might have Daniels back for that game. But honestly, even if they do, I'm not worried. Like, obviously, he's a game changer. Obviously, he changes the whole flow if he is active. But the Commanders without him, they suck. They are actually bad. They lost to the Dolphins. Chiefs have the best time possession per drive. They do. They had the most plays per drive of the NFL coming into this year, too. And they were, let me check, they were 5 of 13 on third down. So that tells you that our defense on money downs was. How about that hit Zach Allen had on Mahomes? I thought that could have been called for roughing. I'm a little surprised they didn't. But yeah, honestly, wait, hold on. There was that, hold on. There was a picture that I thought was super badass. How are y'all feeling about that? That is sick. That is so sick. Like, that, honestly, might be my screensaver. Want to try that against this defense? Yeah, go ahead. Dude, 3rd and 1 and 3rd and 3, we sacked Mahomes. Like, that's crazy. Will Surtain and Greenlaw be healthy after the bye? Greenlaw was healthy today, so unless you were talking about something else, I don't know. Maybe you meant Dobbins or Ellis, but will Surtain be healthy? I presume he will be back for the Washington game, but that's just because they didn't put him on IR. Like, it wouldn't surprise me if they did choose to not have him for another week or so, but yeah. Because honestly, if the Commanders don't play Jane Daniels and you can't beat them, then you don't deserve a W in the column. Bronco had the chance to lay out Mahomes on the interception play, but chose to block someone else. That's smart. Like, on the what's it called? On the JFM or on the Jaquan McMillan run back, like JFM, they called a blindside block on Mahomes, and that was such a stupid call. Like, that wiped out so many yards from us, but it led a 90-yard drive, so ball don't lie. You have to try to tire this defense if you go slow. Yeah, I don't know why the Chiefs, like, their runs were working today, and that's crazy because Kareem Hunt has been bad, like, ever since he came back last year. So it's kind of crazy that they did get some momentum on the ground, and they just stopped throwing it. I don't know why they didn't run at all in the final 2 drives of the game. Like, that was crazy. Are playing into their hand? Yes, agreed. Love that picture. Dude, that picture is so awesome. That picture is awesome. Zach is a monster. Yeah. I noticed Sternad in the final drive of the game. The reason I noticed him was because he did an amazing job. He did an amazing job on the final drive of the game. I think it was either the second to final drive or the final drive where he I forget who else, like, sandwiched Mahomes or whatever, but Sternad, he has been just money this year. You know, I was really, really mad at him last year after the Chargers game, after the Bengals games. But honestly, I think I could chalk that up to the fact that Cody Barton and PJ Locke were in the middle of our defense, because you upgrade those spots with Greenlaw and Hufanga, and look how much better Sternad is. Look how much better Sternad is. Yeah, that's who it was. Q. But yeah. Speaking of Q, I want to talk about this a little more because I'm caught up on comments for now. But Q Robinson, he's a guy that I was like, when we drafted him, I was like, why? But then again, I realized that 4 edge rushers really isn't enough. Like 3, like, had you not had Ellis, you would have gone into this game with 3, and then that's just too wishy-washy. So glad that they filled it out with another spot on the defensive side of the ball and a guy who was very impactful in limited snaps at Alabama, rushing the passer. But yeah, you know, now since everything is filled out on defense, maybe get another defensive lineman, maybe get another safety, maybe get another inside linebacker. But this entire draft, this entire offseason, the beauty of it is you can focus on offense. And the positions that have really sucked for you this year have been tight end, and you need to overhaul that. Like, Troutman, he does have his place in the NFL, but as a tight end 3, he shouldn't be leading our team in snaps as far as weapons. I think if you made Payton choose, he'd take a loaded defense over a loaded offense every time, and that's how he built the team. Yeah, and you want to hear something crazy to me? I think a lot of the people that were just like, well, Sean Payton needs to tip his cap to Vance Joseph for like bailing him out. This defense does not become what it is without Sean Payton, because what have we had on the defensive side of the ball? Okay, not only did Sean Payton hire Vance Joseph, which was very unpopular at the time, especially here in Broncos country, but you got Jamar Cain, our pass rush coach. You got Jim Leonard to be our secondary coach. And hiring those two guys after the 2023 season have taken so many guys like Benito, like Allen, like JFM, like Brandon Jones, like Patrick Surtain's game to all new heights. So Sean Payton deserves a lot of credit, because think about how much unforeseen development that this coaching staff has had with all our players. Like from 2017 to 2022, it feels like we would always have these guys that were on the up and up, like Reisner, like Fant, like Bradley Chubb, like, I don't know, whoever. And they just would never come to fruition. They would never get better. Like the rookie year was their peak and that was it. But then all these guys, they kind of come away to Denver. Like Brandon Jones had been kind of an afterthought in Miami. He comes here and he's literally one of the best players on the team, in my opinion. I'd like to see the Broncos draft more offense. I agree. But yes, I think Payton would take a loaded defense too, because this is an organization that clearly wants to invest in defense. And honestly, defense has just always kind of been the Broncos thing. So I get it. But yeah, I would like us to go very aggressive on offense this offseason. I don't agree with this take, at least not yet, because better to win 10-7 than 38-35. I think if you're going to win games 10-7, then that shows that you don't have the actual offensive infrastructure to keep up. That being said, I get what you're saying. Like, you don't want to be the Bengals, and you don't want to be like just in dogfights every week because you can't get off the field. Facts. I love a hard fought win. I guess we'll agree to disagree. Yes, Jeremy. Let's go. Happy you're still awake. Just stopping in to say what a difference a week makes. It's not about style points. It's about winning. Yeah, but honestly, I think you got a lot of style points from this win. Like, if I'm being honest. And honestly, the whole football world knows it. And yeah, the fact, once again, at the end of the year, you're not going to look at this if you're the NFL and be like, oh, it only counts for 0.2 of a win. Like, you beat the Raiders just barely. But the fact that this team was able to do it and has been able to do it time and time again, I'm just like, man, this feels unsustainable. But now I'm not nervous in fourth quarters. Now, we were talking about that Chargers game. When are we going to finally make a play? When are we finally going to win a close game? When are we going to finally, deliver when it matters most? And we've done nothing but that since. Do you think playing Moss in short down, run, or screen plays and taking him out for Barron and third longs to diminish his habitual deep play penalties would be beneficial? Once again, I feel like the people suggesting Chris Abrams drain and the people suggesting Barron on really third longs or whatever, I think the people that are suggesting that just have not seen the limitations play out. Like, obviously, Riley Moss, I guess you could say there are limitations there because the fact that he keeps getting called for penalties, but physically, I feel like those guys just can't hold up in that role in the same way that Riley Moss can. And I feel like the reason that a lot of people propose that is because we haven't seen it play out yet. But no, I don't think it'd be beneficial, but I don't know the solution. And they probably have to do something, like, because the PIs are definitely whatever. Payton asking Daniel and Coward to shit on Knicks was genius. It was. Sean Payton asking Chase Daniel and Colin Coward to shit on Bo Nix was genius, because frankly, we saw it night and day different quarterback today. And I'm so happy. And again, you never know what motivates the guys. But yeah, you're right, Jeremy. Maybe Payton was like driving home or whatever and calls up Coward and is like, who we know he's close to. We know he's very, very close to Colin Coward. It was like, hey, maybe hit a lick on my quarterback. And Payton in the team meeting was like, look. Hello from Colorado. Hello, Matthew Tombaugh. I just want to say hello from Littleton. 4D chess. I did hear about Adam Trautman talk about Bo after the game. They came together. I'm going to be honest, like what he said does not strike me as like, oh, we don't care about what people think about us because they hear the outside noise. Honestly, I think this team addresses outside noise a little like pretty often compared to the other teams across the league. Not to say that they're like they crumble when it comes to that, but yeah, I mean, I think Jeremy said this once. They listen to the same stuff we do. They like hear the same stuff we do. They see the same stuff on Twitter that we do. So they get it. Like they get it. And you know what? I think you're right. I think you are right, Jeremy. Yeah. No, I get what you're saying, but hold on. Let me for those of you who missed it, let me pull this up real quick. Share screen. All right. Oh shit. Here we go. All right. Here we go. All right, so this is what Troutman said about Bo Nix. He said, if you're talking shit about Bo online, you're a coward, absolute coward. We don't care what other people think. We know what we have in the building. We know what he's made of. We don't care what people have to say. So Dragon Slayer 69 with his 7-Eleven Slurpee in his mom's basement. I don't give a shit what he has to say, right? And Bo does neither. Once again, this does not come across to me like we don't care. It just comes across to me like, hey, we're going to stick up for our quarterback above all else. Oh, shoot. I realized I did not play this, but yeah. Regardless, so that's what Troutman had said after the game. Yeah, overall, I'll let you guys read that, but that was funny. Longhorns and Barons last year had him line up inside and outside. See, that's a little different, though, because, obviously he was the Jim Thorpe Award winner, but he fell to 20 even after winning that award. And I think a big reason why he did that was because he's supposed to be a zone-heavy corner. Like, I think teams ideally want him to play a little off because you guys think Riley Moss has short arms? Jahdae Barron has 29-inch arms. I'm going to see the replies on this. Flag on Riley Moss just for saying that. Wait, Dragon Slayer 69. Somebody actually tagged the account. That's funny. Yo. All right, I did my part. But yeah, so that was a really fun comment by Adam Troutman. But once again, I don't think it went for like the message. I didn't get the message that I think he was going for, but I understood it. Yeah, you like that one? You like that one? You like some live Twitter trolling? But yeah. So for all the people talking about Moss, like they have to do something about it. Like I'm not saying bench him or whatever, but Leonard probably needs to have him play like a different technique. Because quite honestly, like it doesn't matter if he's not allowing a completion a game, but if he's allowing really long DPIs, then yeah. Would love to hear other NFL takes you have from today's games. Let's talk about it. I'm going to share my screen again. I don't really use StreamYard, so it's been kind of interesting, like having to learn or whatever. All right. I'm going to zoom in just a tiny bit. Jets are just in complete free fall mode. Like there's just nothing else to say other than the Jets are terrible. Jeremy, I will agree that he was getting discriminated against on the pick six, but I think the first worthy play where first worthy DPI where he had a hold on him like this, I'm just like, yeah, I could see why they called it. The one against Hollywood Brown, that one pissed me off because I didn't think he needed to do that. I didn't think he even needed to give them an opportunity to call it. Like, I agree that he's not being officiated fairly, but I think those two DPIs were not bad calls. The illegal contact one was horseshit, though. I will agree. The Jets are terrible. The Jets are just horrible. There's no other way to say it. I think had honestly they had anyone besides Justin Fields, they may have had a fighting chance in this game because they did really well on the opening drive, but it was pretty much everything else that was bad. Yeah. And what was I going to say? Patriots. Well, yeah, I know he was looking for the ball, but still, like, just because you're looking for the ball doesn't like make you averse to penalties. And I know that's not what you're trying to say. I get what you're saying, but yeah. Um, the one against Hollywood, that sucked because he didn't need to put himself in that position. And yeah. But either way, the Patriots, they're good. The Patriots are real good. Drake May is firing on all cylinders right now. Trevion Henderson looks pretty good. It's hard for me to take them seriously as like a legit threat because it's still a second-year quarterback. It's still a head coach that hasn't been with the team. It's still a young core, or I shouldn't say young core, but it's a new core. Okay, they signed Milton Williams. They signed Harold Landry. They signed Robert Spillane. So ultimately, like, it's a team that I can't see going far. It's a team I can't see going far this year, but they're here to stay. They're nasty. This one was just gross. Like, I'm happy that we get an international game every week, but I'm happy we get an international game every week, but it tends to be some awful football. And the fact that this went to overtime, like, both teams had a chance to both teams had a chance to kick field goals instead of go for it on like goal to go situations in the fourth quarter. Neither team took the points. And when you're in a rock fight, when you're in an absolute dog fight, you got to take the points. Like, no messing around. You got to be better in that situation. Regardless, looks like the Dolphins are starting to catch fire, which this is honestly the worst thing they could do. The worst thing you could do right now if you're the Miami Dolphins is win games because they're probably firing their coach. Yeah. I remember Brady's first game, Belichick ran more than he passed the ball and he beat Payton. Like, that's what I'm saying. Brady wasn't like all that early on, but then he was really. Your first game was the 98 Super Bowl. That's sick. Yeah, I was about to say that's not a bad way to start your fandom. Same right to the football as the receiver. There was one that should have been OPI against Moss because he was trying to make a play on football. Well, listen, the Chiefs were getting away with whatever. They were letting their wide receivers and DBs do whatever they wanted to our guys, but we always know how these go. We always know how these go. But yeah, if you're the Dolphins, the worst thing you could do right now is win football games. But the Commanders are just in flat out free fall mode. They're in hangover mode after seems like they beat Detroit and they've just been on the decline ever since. Obviously, if Jaden Daniels comes back, that's a different team, but still. Man, what are the Falcons? Like, I knew that they were going to Falcon this game, but I didn't think it'd be that bad. Also, check this out, 6-5 Carolina. I don't think anybody had that on their bingo card coming into this year. It's crazy because every time I see Young, I feel like he's playing bad. Every time I watch Young on Red Zone, I feel like he's playing terrible. But then you look at the final stat line, 31 for 45, 448 yards and 3 touchdowns. Like, this Atlanta defense sucks. Also, Peep Teteroa McMillan, shout out Arizona. Teteroa McMillan's a beast, like, straight up. So Teteroa McMillan and Emeka Egbuka are now in the NFC South. And if you're Atlanta, you got to figure out a way to deal with it. And also, can we talk about the fact that the Rams own Atlanta's pick and they're 3-7 right now? Like, thanks Atlanta for giving your team to your pick when you're a shitty team and you're not going to make the playoffs to one of the best teams in the NFL. Buccaneers versus Bills. Tampa Bay, it just seems like it's starting to fall apart for them. Like, you allowed a Sean Tucker legacy game. If you're Tampa Bay, you just got to, like, figure out something to do with the injuries because you're starting to free fall. And honestly, it just feels like the injuries are just catching up to them at this point. Josh Allen, remarkable performance. Like, he's just absolutely phenomenal. Texans, this is a team that could sneak into the playoffs, and honestly, I really don't want to see them if they do because that defense is really good. That defense is really physical. The Texans are very physical. They're designed to beat you up. So if they can manage to sneak into the playoffs, that is not a team I think anybody wants to see. But ultimately, Davis Mills, he played well today. The man with the longest neck out there. Look at Davis Mills' neck, y'all. Look at Davis Mills. Okoye Atwater hit game beating the Chiefs. That's sick. My first game was the first game I remember was, or conscious memory of, was 2007. Raiders, Broncos, week 2. Mike Shanahan ices the kicker the first year you could. That's the first game I have memory of. But I think my first real game ever where I was like an actual fan of the team was the opener against Seattle in 2010 when Kyle Orton went absolutely sicko mode. Dude, fuck the Chiefs. Glad we're smoking that Chiefs back. Y'all can call me a new gen or whatever you want, but I hate the Chiefs more than the Raiders. Carolina with a better record than KC. Yeah, who had that on their bingo card for real? Who had that on their bingo card? Did you want so you wanted both Emeka and Tetherell McMillan? I mean, both guys are just absurd. So I'm happy for the Panthers and Bucks that they both got really good stud wide receivers. That being said, this offseason it's our turn. Man, imagine being a Falcons fan. Dude, I know. Like, there's got to be no more tortured fan base in professional sports than the Falcons. Like, I don't know how you ever come back from 28-3. I just don't know how you do it. Texans will make a strong run. Yeah, they will, especially when Stroud gets back. Actually, let me see their schedule. Can I just look at the team schedule game by game? Where is Houston? Here we go. Buffalo, probably an L. Although it is a short week and they are at home, but probably an L. At Indy, probably an L. At KC, probably an L. Oh, man, I don't know. I don't know if they're going to go on a run. They got the Colts twice again. They got a road game against the Chargers. Probably beat Arizona. Probably beat the Raiders. Oh, man. I'm not so sure, man. If I was your age, I would hate the Chiefs more too. Yeah. Like, listen, the Raiders have never been competitive as far as I've been alive. Like, the most damage they've done was, well, I guess 2003, but I wasn't alive for that. I wasn't alive for that Bucks Raiders Super Bowl. But, yeah, no, the Raiders have never been competitive as I've been alive. And honestly, I feel a little bit bad for Raiders fans. I feel a little bit bad that the true fans were pushed out of Oakland, or I guess not pushed out of Oakland, but the true fandom is kind of gone with the Raiders. Like, I remember I lived in Vegas for 2 years, and it's something about it. The Raiders are a proud NFL franchise, and I love the history amongst the NFL. Like, I really, 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 really respect Al Davis and everything he did for the league, because this league is not what it is today without him. But, you know, you move your fan base to Las Vegas. I mean, you move your team to Las Vegas, and the only people, like, they don't have fans there. So I don't hate the Raiders I hate the Raiders, yeah, of course, but I don't hate them as much as I hate the Chiefs, because it feels plastic to me. It feels like hating a hotel chain. Hating the Las Vegas Raiders feels like hating like a corporation. It feels like hating Pepsi. It feels like hating Coca-Cola, because it's just plastic and there's no authenticity to it. And it's just whatever. It's just a money factory, and that's all it is. So when the actual passion's out of the game, it's really hard for me to have hate. I know, like, David, you put it this way, Raiders have no aura anymore. It's sad. Like, I agree their fan base is trash, but I will admit there was something about the Coliseum. Like, when I was 10, I believe, I was watching the Broncos Raiders game at the Coliseum in Arizona, or I was in Arizona with my grandpa. We were watching it on my computer. Like, I found a way to stream it even when I was 10 years old. And I remember we were watching that game, and I remember watching Eddie Royal run to the end zone, and I remember watching batteries be thrown at him, and I'm just like, that is sick. I'm just like, he ran back a punt. I was like, that is so sick. The Chiefs fan base saw how bad Raiders fans are and said, hold my beer. Dude, the craziest thing about it is last year they were denying the fact that they got ref help, and they deny the fact that their organization just does a lot of shitty things. And you're happy. You better be glad you got all those rings, because nobody talks about the fact that Andy Reid's son got pardoned by the governor of Missouri, even though he killed someone in a DUI crash. My prediction, Gus Edwards signs next week. I mean, maybe he does, but honestly, I don't think he would have helped the run game that much. I don't think he would have helped the run game that much today, but I think, yeah, they're probably going to make a move at running back, but Jaleel ran well today. Jaleel did pretty well today. I was proud of him. I was really proud of how he stepped up. You know, speaking of the AFC, let's see what the Chiefs have, because this team will probably come alive at some point, but it's not a guarantee. Not a guarantee anymore. Versus Indy, Indy has a chance to do some real damage because if the Chiefs lose tiebreakers against the Chargers, Bills, Broncos, Colts, and potentially Texans, they are in big trouble. They are in big trouble. Now, once again, I don't think they're going to miss the playoffs because I think at Dallas, Dallas is a joke. But then again, Dallas's offense could definitely put up some points on KC's defense. Versus Houston, Houston's going to play him physical. Houston's going to play him tough. But I just don't think, especially if Stroud's out, I don't think they have the offensive firepower to really get it done in Arrowhead, especially on this will be Sunday Night Football. Chargers could win. The Chargers always, like us, they always show up for KC. Tennessee, that's going to be the Chiefs are going to win that game. Versus Denver, we have a chance to do something really, really special on this night. At Las Vegas, the Raiders are probably just going to want the season to be over at that point, so I assume. I knew Al Davis as a crusty ghoul, but back in his heyday, he was a Colt hero, yeah. And honestly, part of the reason why the Raiders were, I think Jeremy put it really well, Al Davis aged like milk in the sun. Part of the reason why they have not been competitive in my lifetime is because honestly, he just did not, like the game just kind of passed him by. As far as being an owner of one of the most successful, franchises. Like they traded Gruden for draft picks on the verge of winning a Super Bowl, then gets beat by Gruden in the Super Bowl. Then they fired Billy Moose after a 12-4 season in 2016. And I just remember a team, Al Davis, when he was in his prime, he was a genius when it came to football. He really knew what he was doing, but his son had no idea, and it showed. And listen, Al's downfalls were reasons for success before. Like, it's not like his philosophy now was wrong. You look at professional sports, it's dominated by speed. But yeah, like the Raiders have just been in free fall mode because Mark Davis has just no clue what he's doing. You are correct that stiffing Mike Shanahan on his pay cursed the Raiders. And it's so funny now because Kyle Shanahan, I feel like whenever the 49ers play the Raiders, they also just beat the piss out of them. Yeah, dude. When Jaquan sacked him or whatever, and Mahomes was like crying for the flag, that was so funny. That was so funny. I was like, haha, they can't bail you out this time, Kermit. And I think, even if Jaquan did commit a penalty there, I can't imagine the refs would have called it in that situation because of the fact that, had they called a penalty, I think it would have been everywhere. I think it would have been everywhere because whoever the ref, Adrian Hill was definitely aware of the 4-0 stat line with the Chiefs this season coming into the game. But yeah. I'm going to see what else I can look at. Like, any other schedules you guys want to look at? Yeah, I think Houston's cooked. Like, honestly, I just don't see them making it into the playoffs with this schedule. Actually, let's see what Indy has, because I know what New England has. New England's schedule is pretty light coming into this year, or coming into these games. So Indy against KC is going to be a dogfight. Other than that, you've got some pretty tough games if you're the Colts. Like, the Jaguars have shown that they're just not going to go into the night. Like, the Jaguars are not a bottom feeder anymore. Like, they've had nice wins against teams all year. So this team clearly, Liam Cohen has this team ready for their big games. But other than that, they have dropped really embarrassing games too. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to make of the Jags, but yeah, we've got KC for Indianapolis. We've also got Houston. We've also got Seattle and San Francisco. So yeah, this is a pretty tough slate too, I'd say. I think, what would I say? I think they probably, I wouldn't say they split with Houston because Houston is not that good right now. So I think they go 2-0 against Houston. I think KC beats them just because they're at home, and I think things got to run out at some point. But the Colts are coming off a bye, so that's big. I think they get it done. Oh, man, they've never been able to win in Jacksonville. I think they've lost the past 15 times in Jacksonville, so I don't feel good about that. But Seattle probably takes this. Like, I would just give this to whoever is the home team, and I'd probably give it to Seattle. I'd probably give this one to San Francisco because San Francisco, Kyle Shanahan, say whatever you want, but he'll always have his team ready for the big games. Now, as far as what actually happens during the game, different discussion, but the 49ers will be ready, and they look like they're out for blood now that Purdy's back. I'm not sold in Buffalo in the playoffs. That defense is a huge liability. Josh Allen will need to carry the team like Manning did in 2013 with half the defense on IR. Yeah, Buffalo's defense is not very good right now. Once again, they allowed Sean Tucker to just have a straight-up legacy game. And this is a pretty I'm not going to say tough schedule because it's really not. But, or actually, you've got Pittsburgh. That's always a tough team to play against, even if you never leave that game feeling good. But yeah, you've got New England. Yeah, I don't know if they make a deep run. Let's do the. Who do we got? Oh, I remember Mecole Hardman muffed a punt today. That sucks. But yeah, Ed Oliver is going to be out to the playoffs. That fucking blows for them. Taylor Rapp, injured knee. Oh, rest of the year. I didn't know they were going through all this. Fedarian Mathis, I know him. Shaq Thompson, that sucks because he's a starter. Yeah, man, like it just seems like everything is catching up to them too. It's fitting that they play Tampa today because they're pretty. The Patriots' schedule is Charmin ultra soft. I'll show it to you. The Patriots' schedule is an absolute joke. So we've got the Bengals, we've got the Giants, we've got Buffalo, Baltimore, New York, and Miami. The two teams that I could see them maybe losing against are Buffalo and Baltimore, and that's it. Even then, you have Buffalo at home, and you already lost. You already beat them on the road this year. Dude, I saw Joey Bosa make literally the worst play today. On red zone, Baker Mayfield was like scrambling, and he got past the sticks, and Joey Bosa just like didn't tackle him. Joey Bosa just literally just watched him go by. But yeah, to answer your question, Jeremy, the Patriots schedule is a joke. Like it's literally like there's very little competition going on here. I'm trying to think. There's another team we should probably look at the Chargers too, just so we can see what's going on. Listen, the Chargers don't scare me without Slater and Alt, but we'll see. Miami, if the team is trying to save their head coach, yeah, but they already won Miami earlier in the year, and I feel like teams that go into New England reminds me a lot of us last year, where teams that go into New England that should lose usually have a tendency to get their doors blown off. And that's kind of what happens when May is playing as well as he is. Think Vaughn asks for his release to go find a contender, but I mean, maybe, but like who's interested in Von Miller at this point in his career? I just don't know. I don't know. Either way, here's the Chargers. Like, listen, they were starting to Charger here. They had an embarrassing performance at home against the Colts. Got a win against a shitty team. Got another win against a shitty team. Got a win against a shitty team. Let's see. Okay, so they got the bye now, and then they've got the Raiders. I gotta imagine that the Chargers take care of business. Eagles at home, that could be really, really spooky for them. At KC, once again, Chargers always get up for those, but usually it's the Chiefs that win those. At Dallas, Dallas's defense is not going to slow down Herbert. I don't care. He could be throwing the ball to Walmart cashiers. Houston, once again, that's a tough team, and we saw Houston blow the doors off of the Chargers last year in the playoffs. And Herbert threw like 4 or 5 picks. Yeah. And then Denver, I think we take care of them the second time around. It would be a very, very poetic thing, especially because, listen, man, I like our shot against. If we play against the Patriots, I really, really like our odds because honestly, we just match up with them really well. Like May has been really, really good this year, but their O-line's a little shaky. Like May has been sacked the second most times in the NFL this year. And honestly, that'd be very poetic. That would hit like crack. And Vrabel, he always has his teams ready to go. He always knows what they're going to do. And honestly, he feels like new era Belichick to me. But yeah, we're battle tested. That's the thing is that New England, yeah, they had Tampa, yeah, they had Buffalo, but they really have not gone through adversity. Yeah, like May is playing incredibly well, but I think we also need to acknowledge that this is a pretty sad slew of opponents. Carolina, not competitive. I mean, 6-5, I guess, but still not a good team. Buffalo, all right, cool. I'll give you that one. New Orleans, yeah, no. One score game, all right. Tennessee, yeah, no. Cleveland, yeah, no. Atlanta, pretty close game. Tampa Bay, I'll give you impressive win, but yeah, once again, like there's just not a whole lot of things. Now, I will say Cincinnati could make some noise against New England. Joe Burrow's not back, is he? Joe Burrow's not back, I don't think. No, he's not. I thought I saw something. I followed Bengals beat reporter on Twitter, and I think I saw something that said Joe Burrow like could be activated for the designated to return window. Gotta fuck over McDaniels again and beat his ass. Yeah, of course. I like this name for Vrabel, Meathead Belichick. Yeah. Either way, it is 1:24 a.m. So I'm gonna get out of here. Although I probably could go longer if I really want to, but I don't know. I feel like I should shut this down while we still have momentum. But either way, shout out to y'all. I will obviously be back tomorrow night. And honestly, I do work tomorrow night. So we'll see if you guys see me on Horsepower Hour. If you do, I'll probably have to be a late join. But I'd be happy to come in there and, share my thoughts, obviously. But yeah, overall, really happy I got to interact with you guys tonight. Shout out to everybody. If you're watching on the replay, you probably just fell asleep with your TV on. So leave a like, make sure you subscribe, leave a comment as well, because, y'all are amazing. Y'all are amazing. Absolutely spoiled rotten that I get to do this every night with y'all. And yeah, shout out David, Jeremy, my lovely co-host, Mark as well. Thank you for the super chat. Don Mars, Chris Henry, Son of Judah. Y'all make this what it is. Y'all make this what it is. And I love coming back to talk with you guys every single night. But yeah, all right, that does it for me. I'll see you guys next time.